Hello everybody and welcome back to Practice Makes Perfect. This is Casey in a nutshell. Today we're making one of my very favorite recipes, a sourdough based focaccia bread. Starting with your favorite glass bowl and a kitchen scale, you're going to give your sourdough a cursory stir, adding 350 grams of water and 160 grams of your liquidy starter. Make sure you have an extra spoon with which to catch the drips. It's really hard to take starter out when you're weighing it, and with that spoon give her a cursory stir before adding in your 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. I'm using Kirkland brand olive oil, not a sponsor, but you could. Anyway, extra virgin olive oil is the best kind of olive oil and the best kind of EVOO. Whisk it together so that the flavors get to know each other per Binging with Babish's constant advice. Back onto a 0 to scale, 450 grams of white all-purpose flour. Remember how I said it was hard to take out sourdough starter? It's not hard at all to take out flour. Something I do basically every recipe. After getting your flour back down to the correct weight, we add 9 grams, or about a heaping tablespoon, of salt. I'm using iodized table salt. Simi Nosrat doesn't like iodized salt. We're giving our dough a final stir just to get everything completely combined. I'm using my favorite spatula, a wooden spoon, and your hands also work totally great. As I quick cut here and adjust my bowl angle, make sure that all of the flour is incorporated fully, getting it hydrated and worked together. Double covering, as seen here, is wholly unnecessary, but we've slowed our video down so I can show you how to stretch and fold. Grease up those grimy little fingers of yours. I'm kidding, they're totally clean. With your favorite and the same exact olive oil as before. You can listen to Home Cooking or by Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat to listen to Simi Nosrat and her discussion of olive oil. I won't recap it again here. Now, you want to grab the dough from the bottom of the base, stretch it as high as it'll go without tearing, and fold it over. You don't want to tear the dough because that tears the gluten and reverses your entire process. We're not doing traditional kneading because we don't need that kind of gluten. We just want a light, fluffy dough without too much rise. Focaccia is a classically flat dough. Now, it's very sticky on your hands, even if you oil them so great like I did. You're going to want to scrape that off, including your fingernails and wrists, just in case. I recommend doing it before you try and put it back on, because doing that dirty-handed is pretty gross. Now, after a quick earthquake, she sat for a full half hour, and I'll give you a quick precursor on feeding your sourdough starter. I'm making a specific recipe, so I'm putting in 80 grams of each, but to keep her fed and healthy, I put in a minimum of 20 almost every day. I miss a couple of days here and there, but nobody's perfect. Now, as long as you're feeding it exact by weight amounts of each flour and water, you'll be totally fine. Stir it up and scrape the sides like always. Just scrape the crap out of it. And when you're all done, it should look thin and bubbly just like this. You're going to do the stretch and fold idea 3 to 4 times total in a 2-hour span, so about every 30 minutes. Personally, I like to mix it up, let it sit for half an hour. I always put a timer on because I'm a horrible baker if I don't have constant timers. I'm doing this one again just to kind of show you again in real time how to stretch and fold. Stretch and fold. Oh, who's here? It's Dad's shorts. Anyway, back to our dough. I think this stays a little cleaner, plus I love my focaccia recipe. Of course, it doesn't always turn out perfect. because it's not foolproof, because baking isn't foolproof. All right, Dad. Thanks for that. Again, I scrape my fingers off with whatever I'm using to wash dishes at the time, just to get everything off my fingers so it doesn't stay cakey. Oh, where'd it go? And there. Cool bit of editing magic. And this guy's going into the proving oven. My oven, I'm lucky enough that has a proving setting on it. Not everyone has this ability, and that's totally fine. Just letting it hang out in the oven, because the oven is a warm box without any drafts, is perfect. I've heard people put it in the dryer and put it on top of the fridge. Everything is great. Now, after 4 hours of proving, we're going to put this guy in a lightly oiled casserole dish. Spread it around a little with your terribly grimy fingers, and we're going to cover it, plastic wrap, and put her in the fridge overnight. A long cold proof is exactly what this focaccia loves to thrive. Thanks for liking, commenting, and subscribing. Don't forget to click that bell.